up and go. It's the Long Island Breakfast Club show. Grab a cup of coffee or hot cocoa. It's the Long Island Breakfast Club show. Grab a cup of Java or espresso. It's the Long Island Breakfast Club show. Tina Valentina is the host, you see. She's as classy as she can be. Grab a cup of coffee or espresso with the Long Island Breakfast Club show. I say rise and shine, get up and go. It's the Long Island Breakfast Club show. Grab a cup of coffee or espresso with the Long Island Breakfast Club show. Another cup of Java or espresso. Another cup of coffee or hot cocoa. It's the Long Island Breakfast Club show. It's the Long Island Breakfast Club show. It's the Long Island Breakfast Club show.
Good afternoon, everybody. It is Thursday. It is beautiful out. The sun is shining. I love Thursday for a lot of reasons. We have a very nice cast of characters today. We have Stephanie Carlino, who's been around forever and ever,
wonderful years.
2016 to now. We have a very good friend in the audience, Dr. Joe Kelberman, who's been around since 2016. We have Susan Pinky, who does all these great decorations, who's
Kudos.
Been around for 6.5 years, unemployed too. I mean, everybody that joins this club eventually got let go and did something else. And we have a very nice sponsor today, and it is, I'll let you say your name.
Inga Kravatis.
Inga Kravatis, who is sponsored by this great car show called
The Dogwood Boys.
And I've just found out that I know him because now I know what business he had, and he used to give us decorations a lot for the show.
Took care of all of Franklin Square.
Yes, and I miss him. I don't see him around anymore.
He's around.
Yeah?
Yeah, he's
He
around.
is. So thank you.
Tuesday nights.
Where they meet, this group?
Right in front of Lytle, the old Best Jet.
On Tuesday night?
Yes.
What
Tuesday
time?
nights. I believe they start at 6 o'clock.
All right, well, we're going to have to go down there one Tuesday night.
Yeah.
Do they serve any
Pizza.
snacks? Oh, pizza.
He's got pizza.
Can't go wrong
A
with
lot
pizza.
of families come out. It's a nice night. Now that the summertime is here, the kids come out. They look at the cars. It's nice.
Very nice. So today is a special day. It's National, what day do you think it is? It's something really that everybody thinks about. National Bucket List Day. If you don't have a bucket list, get one and do one. I only have a bucket list since I got let go a long time ago. And I've actually done most of the stuff on it already.
Good for you.
I still want to march in the Italian parade on, Columbus Day. I was approved to march last year, but I couldn't do the ladder up because I had a bad day. So maybe next year. But that's one of my things in honor of my dad, who is very Italian. And there's some other stuff, but I did do quite a bit already. Have you done anything on your bucket list?
Yeah, we went to Europe.
Just like that. We went to Europe.
Yeah, we've traveled quite a bit. We've cruised the Greek islands. We went to visit our grandson in Italy when he was there studying.
So you're doing quite a bit of your bucket list.
Well, yeah, we're going to Bermuda Sunday on a cruise.
Nice.
I think I want to like.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
It's
No
great.
complaints.
Well, you're looking good.
Thank you. I feel good.
Yeah. So Stephanie and I we used to do this one-on-one. So many different things that we've done. We were on so many specials and
Movies. They made a movie.
my book is dedicated to Joanne, who started the club with the two of us.
Very nice.
She passed away, and my book is all about being fired, from fired to freedom. There were 72 women in my book who have a story, and one man. That one man, Chris Fidus, he's still around. You remember him, right? So anyway, it's so good to see you, Joe, because it's been so long. Yeah. So Susan also came to us after being on Park Avenue for years. And it's just, people just, I don't know, they come
Gravitate,
to us.
yeah.
Yeah, they gravitate to us.
We're welcoming.
Yeah, and then we do some fun stuff. So let's start out with Evra. Now you have two names. Is that how you-
Inga.
I mean, Inga. But where does the Evra come from?
Where's the ever?
I don't know.
No, where's
Ever.
that?
It's a mistake.
That's the
Typo.
mistake. It's Inga.
Inga. So how did you get that nickname?
It's my name.
Inga is your name.
My name is Inga.
but they call you Double.
They call, well, because that's just a Facebook era. The reason why I went Inga, because that is my Facebook name, and I've had two previous.
Ah.
So I came back on. I
You mean
call
two previous husbands?
two two previous Facebook accounts. That's why it's
Okay.
Inga.
You can't trust that Facebook.
That
I'll tell you,
is
it
funny.
made a terrible mess of my family. They posted something.
Right.
And in the morning it just comes up.
Yeah.
And in the morning you just look at something and it looks nice.
Mm-hmm.
So-and-so friends, 14 years. Oh, isn't that nice? I just go, 14 more years, and I just clicked on it. Wow. I tell you, they edited the picture. They cut out people. I was like,
Yeah, it's a little crazy.
It is how and they take no responsibility.
Well,
I don't care.
the whole social media thing, they hacked my Facebook, so that's why
I had that
I
happen.
went.
Yeah,
That's why I
know.
created the Inga because of what I do for a living, and people could not get a hold of me. So I said I better go back on the airways and talk about what I need to do, and
Good.
that's why I created Inga. It's
Well, I like
it's a
it.
catch.
Well, you always need a
Catchy.
catchy. You need something a little wacky. That's why I'm Tina Valentina.
Okay.
And I got the name from a guy in the bar.
Oh my God.
Because I was never a Tina Valentina. I was always Valentina.
Yeah. So now you're Tina Valentina.
Because I met him in a bar. He was doing a show. He was a comedian. And he goes, you should do a show. I'm like, yeah, okay. He goes, I'm going to give you a name. And he did. And that was the day I went to Governor's Comedy Club and started my show.
and
the next
it
day.
just stuck.
So it proves that things happen for a reason. And
For
you
sure.
never know where you'll wind up.
No.
Governor's was not so much fun. It was fun, but I wanted it more professional.
Yeah.
And that was full of a lot of men. And you remember that.
Just the whole setup of
But
the
the
place.
Governor's-
If you
is that
look
a
around
comedy
here, how
show?
lovely
Yeah.
this is.
Yeah.
That was like
That was like
being in somebody's garage.
Yeah, but it did teach me a lot. And I went to school for a little while there, and they loosened me up because I was corporate. And
Right.
now I'm not corporate anymore. And I like not being corporate, but I wanted to go back to corporate for many years. And I don't want to now.
No.
And neither do you.
I'm not going to lie. I miss working.
I miss working too, but I don't miss the political corporate stuff.
No, no. Not so much.
So anyway, so I know that you work with special needs.
Mm-hmm.
You work part-time or full-time in an agency,
Yep, full time at the agency.
which is called Kulanu.
Kulanu.
Well, what is it? What's Kulanu?
Kulanu means all of us in Hebrew.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All
And
right.
I've been with the agency for 8 years, 8 years.
That's a long time.
Yeah. Yep.
And you're a teacher?
I'm not a teacher. I'm just a service access coordinator that navigates families, Nassau County and Suffolk County, through the system to get support for their children.
Okay, so is this like the people that come? They're called OS something, and they
OPWDD.
there we go, and they take your child out and teach them the basics of life.
Well, OPWDD provides the service, and there's, with everything in life, there's criteria that needs to be met, and nowadays the autism is 1 in 36. It's 6 times more prevalent in boys than girls. I have 2 daughters on the spectrum. They are now 24.
Wow, you look so young. You're beautiful.
Thank you. They're 24, and they were diagnosed in 2003. So back then, it was brand new. Nobody had not a clue about what autism was, what we had to do, where we had to go. And I navigated the waters alone, and I made my way through. I came out on the other side of the island, Strong Island. Very nice.
Yeah, part of Strong Island now.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes, and it's it's rewarding because I lived it, and now I pay it forward to my families that are lost in the system and that don't know the system and
Right.
what they're entitled to. And nowadays, you have a developmental disability, you still have criteria to meet. Imagine that.
Yeah.
You know, you
and
have
the
a
system-
diagnosis.
And the system will twist you if it can.
Right. And the diagnosis comes down, and a lot of families struggle first, with accepting the diagnosis, and then it's another to take that step when your child goes to school. And when we go to school, we need a diagnosis so they get proper support
And the benefits that you need.
and the benefits. And the
And
benefits.
you usually have to fight for that.
So,
Yes.
Valentina, we don't like to use the word fight.
Well,
I like to say
my
negotiate.
daughter fought for
You have
for
to,
my
you have to
grandson.
advocate.
You negotiate and you go back and forth.
Well, I'm
But
honest.
yeah, it's
not
but
easy.
it's true. I mean, I did a lot of negotiating and working the system and talking to them because they've never met anyone like me. So they were
Right.
like, Franklin Square was like, boom. Like,
Well,
who is
you
this
could
woman?
see, yes, you
Right.
came a long way knowing
Came-
what you know.
Right.
Now, the other thing that I always found interesting was this job that's available for people, like anybody in the audience,
Mm-hmm.
that wants to help a child that has to learn how to live alone.
Right.
And the
OPWDD.
I know someone that's making $40 an hour
Mm-hmm.
because the mother gets so much money and she could pay the aide whatever she wants
Right.
as long as they spend all the money in the year.
Okay, so that's what we call the self-direction program. And that is a
I have a
program.
friend that does that also.
Yes.
And he
Yeah.
he finds it very
Rewarding.
He really does. He's come to adopt it, almost
Yes.
like adopt this. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, he's not a child. He's
So
like 22.
This is a program that
Yeah.
everybody wants. But unfortunately, it comes at a time where you transition. So when the children reach an age of 15 in school, that's the transition age into adulthood, unfortunately.
And they take them to the movies and they get paid to take them to the movies.
Right.
They
It-
get paid to take them to the theater.
well, it's because
Put
what
on
you're-
the bus,
right,
all that.
all
I think
of it. It's great.
It's a great job for anybody. But either you get a great student that's very comfortable, or
Right.
you could have a student that's not so comfortable.
Right. So you
you're going to either work very, very difficultly, or it's just going to be a breeze.
right.
So
But you
these
can-
are jobs that people don't know about.
Well, it's you have to understand the participants that you're working with.
Yes.
So I have 8 staff members, and I have different levels of support. So the girls work every day. They don't make an income. They're out there because I want them to be accountable. So they get up just like everybody else, Tuesday through Friday, and work. And my aides, or we call them community habilitation workers, accommodate them every day. They take them to work, they work with them, they actually support them and teach them what they're doing. And so they have that point of understanding, because a lot of participants, it's rote. You know, they go into a business and they've been there for so long, and the girls know where they are in life. And they have the opportunity because we have these workers.
I
Without
see them
them,
sometimes
without
in the
them,
mall.
we couldn't go anywhere.
I see them sometimes in the mall, and they're very patient. I
And,
see
Right.
them.
and in the diners, because they have to wear their name brands
Right. Yes.
on their jacket. And I always said, well, what kind of job is that? And then I found out all about it.
Right.
But what upsets me is that there's so many people that don't know about it. Why is that?
I don't know why that is, but there are. It's like any industry, I suppose. It's an industry. So if you're in that industry, you do know about it.
Right.
I think you'd have to be a special personality to seek a job like that.
So
you'd have to.
nobody. Yes, that's what I say. Is nobody goes to school to be a DSP.
Right.
Because that's what it is.
Right.
And in my case, I have 2 people that work well with my girls. Their personalities are the same, and my girls are nonverbal, so they have to go by body action, body language, and what today is going to bring. They can have a bad day, a good day, and they have to take them and understand their abilities when they're in that moment. So Alexa and Sophia are my little gems.
And it requires trust on your part
Yes.
to let them go with these people.
Well, at 19, they went in the car for the first time to the beach without me. So it took 19 years to get them in the car to go to the beach without their mother, because autism and water is not a good combination.
Really? See, I didn't know
I
that.
didn't know
Yes.
that. Why
I
is
know
that?
autism and
Why is that?
noise.
Well,
It's
autism
not a
and
good
water,
combination.
because water is enticing, right? They don't know the fear of water and what
Oh,
it can
I
do.
see. I see.
So developmentally, they see it and they want to play in it,
Oh,
but
I see.
they don't know how deep the ocean is or how deep the pools are. So that is one of the big fears for our young parents today with keeping them safe. So
It's
there's
very interesting. You're very knowledgeable.
Yeah.
Gosh, you've been doing it forever.
forever.
Jeez.
25 years.
Well, you're in the same company doing this, right?
Well, the company in itself was a stepping stone for me because I was home with my children until and 2016 is when I went back to work. I worked for a Wall Street firm in the late 80s and all through the 90s into 2003. 2003. So it was my time to, be a full-time mom and support them and get them to where they need to be and to be accountable in life. Because you have a disability nowadays doesn't give you anything. If you have a
brain, right.
brain and you're able to walk and understand, it's just another, listen, the kids today, they're like this. There's no language anyways.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Right?
very true. What
There's
you're
no
saying,
language.
yes. Hmm.
And they communicate. They could be in the same room as you and they're texting you. Or they're upstairs. They're
Yeah,
texting
that's
you.
And they're
Very
each
true.
playing games and say, "You want to play?" I said, "What play?" They're parallel playing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
They don't
So-
understand that you'd call for someone at their house. Oh, and if they couldn't come out, you'd go home, and guess what?
Right.
You'd have to go back again later.
Right. So in today's world, we fast forward, and they have different ways of communicating, whether it's via a text, a FaceTime, just going to do what they need to do. They have come a long ways, and working with children with autism is a never ending. It's
Well, we always have a
constant-
little wine on the show, so we're going to have a toast to you and all that you're doing on Long Island. I understand you were the first mother to get some kind of sign.
Yes.
So let's talk about that. Anybody want wine in the audience? We always share. Who wants some? Would you like some? No? Would you like some? No? Oh, here we go. Doc, you're going to have one. Here you go. Let's give one to the doc. I know he's going to have some. He's got the personality that he's going to have some wine. So this is for you.
Thank
this
you.
is to you.
Cheers.
Thanks for coming to the
Yes,
club.
thank you
the
for
show.
inviting me. Yes.
And it's great to meet you. You're a powerhouse. I can tell just by the way you talk. You'll fit right in here.
Ah.
That's for sure. So let's talk about the sign.
So
What's
the
that
sign,
all about?
So the sign was this one day. I was like, we have deaf area, blind area. Where's my autistic child sign? And that was in 2004. And Kate Murray was the town supervisor then. And I wrote a letter and I stated my case. She said, sure, why not? And she was a smart woman. She jumped on that quickly.
I love
And-
her. She's
yes.
around still.
Yes, she is. She's the she's now the
Yeah, county
clerk.
clerk. She comes a lot. They've been on here a few times.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, she's a doll.
She did right by us, and we unveiled the first sign in 2004. I was on a quick 33-second 10-10 wins. I had my little shot of
Freedom.
freedom.
Say what you want.
Say what I want, but it was a day, and now it's 21 years later, and now I'm going back to the town of Hempstead for an adult autism
How
sign.
nice.
Yeah, my letter's actually written. I'm
Is
just
that for somebody in Franklin Square too?
no for my girls
Oh,
they're
because they're
24.
older.
They're
Okay.
going to be 25, so I no longer have children. So I
it.
need, and that will be the first adult sign. So
So are you a single mother?
I am.
Okay, well look at this woman. Single mother doing all this.
Yes.
Amazing.
No, really.
We did a lot in my years, and the sign was just the beginning.
So
we-
what's
Well, you're
one of
a
the
fighter. I
yeah, you
I
can see
appreciate that. And
Absolutely, we believe in
I
that.
don't like the word no or let's try it again. Let's revisit that.
Well,
So-
and you need the politicians on your side. But listen, I know because I worked for the politician. All right? So he's now in jail. So okay, we don't have to go that way. Okay, but I loved him
Yep.
and I liked what I did. But what it did for me was education.
Yes.
So yes, I know how to get to people.
Right.
You obviously know how to get to people because of what you do.
Right.
But you do have to.
I am
keep going.
persistent.
Right.
Yes, I'm very persistent, especially when it's something that's very close. I'm
Your kids.
passionate. I'm passionate about children, what I do for a living, and making sure that parents understand what you have in front of you. They're your children, and they don't have a voice. And empowering parents is what I like to do.
So now that you're opening on this little business, in addition to working
Right.
at the agency, A
What
person
business?
that just
What business
this
they running?
business, her own consulting business.
Yes,
Okay.
Someone that has a child,
right.
brand new baby, finds out
Yes.
which they have autism. Right away, they could tell, right, by the hand.
What?
Well,
At
it's-
what age can they confirm?
As early as 18 months now.
That's what I thought. I thought it had something to do with the hand. Does it?
No, I've not heard of
Oh,
that.
well, that's
no.
a fallacy.
So it's 18.
You read it somewhere.
I read it.
That's fake news.
Fake
Fake
news.
news.
Fake news.
No, it's 18 months. That's when the
So how do they know?
well, nowadays they know by, the fleeting eyes, the flapping, the toe walking, not interacting, social cues, communication,
The flapping is what?
where they get excited.
Oh, okay.
They get excited. But listen, the autism has changed in the last
Oh,
20
it's
years.
a lot. It's better,
it's-
right? It's like they know so much more, right?
Well, it in that sense, yes, but it's on the rise. Like I said,
Yeah.
it was when my girls were diagnosed in 2003. It was 1 in 150, and today it's 1 in 36.
What do they attribute that to?
So there's a big controversy about that. Back in my day when the girls were just diagnosed, it was about the vaccinations and but what have you. But listen, it's not just here in the States; it's global. It's everywhere.
So
So
now,
if you can't
yeah.
attribute it to the vaccines, because I don't know what the other countries do, if they
But-
vaccine the same, they have the same schedule as us, or if they do it all.
But see, with the vaccinations now, I happen to know a few mothers that just had children, and they're going to homeschool their kids because of the vaccinations.
because
and they
there's-
have to stay away from the school nurse because they're going to throw them out of school if they don't decide in the next 3 weeks.
Right. Well, there's no religious exemptions anymore, and they are mandating and enforcing. So today's world, they need to. What they have done is that they've split the vaccinations up. They didn't do it like when we were kids, and where you just got one shot and you were done, and got
Right.
the TB shot or whatever the shot was. What was that shot in the
Polio
arm?
shot we got.
Polio.
Yeah, we got that.
Yeah, that's what my brother died of many years
You know,
ago.
it's maddening to think about, what the cause is, but forget about the cause. It's here, and it's how do we
Sure.
manage our children and move forward in life, because the vaccinations, it is what it is. Like I said, it is global.
Well, do you do counseling for the parents? I would imagine, that
So
getting married, preparing for a baby, and and getting
well,
less
listen,
than
there's a
less
lot-
than expected news. There should be some sort of counseling program for the parents.
well, I think that's would be given on any type of disability, not
Yes.
just autism,
Right.
right? So
I don't know if they do.
Well, I mean, they do those amnio tests, and they can tell on
Before,
certain things,
yes,
right?
yes.
But autism is, listen, I think every child that's born has some sort of underlying
Problem.
predisposition, and you don't know it. If the children are born today and they go through their testing, hearing, sight, right when they're born, and they pass them. But developmentally, as the years go by, is what you see. So now, little Johnny's not speaking.
By what age? 3?
I mean, my girls were my Olivia, my oldest. She's completely different from her sisters, and they're only 17 months apart.
And they both.
The
were
twins
born-
have autism, and then I have a neurotypical child. So why one and not the and why the two and not my one?
So the twins were born obviously with the same thing.
Yes, well, they're identical twins, so they have the same. They were together. So if they were fraternal, one could have had autism and one couldn't.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So it's fascinating over the years,
It is
and
very
all of the
interesting.
speculations of what caused it. We should be past what caused it.
No, we just have to get
And-
through what you do to get by and get
Understand,
better.
right? And the early diagnosis is what we do today versus years ago it was just up and coming. Now they being the county would like your children to go through the system, to get the support, to get them past that eligibility stage,
But what age is that?
0 to 8. So,
So-
you can start applying at 18 months. But the problem is that meeting criteria is hard to come by because you're not going to have You're not going to have an IEP, which is an individual.
No, until they're older.
3.
Right.
So you have to at least be 3 years old in order to meet the criterias.
Okay, it's like what they do when the kids go to nursery school and they can't see and they have lazy eye. You're not going to find that out until they go to school
Right.
and they pre-test them. 'Cause
Right.
That happened to my daughter, and she had to wear a patch for so many years.
Right.
But these tests should be done, I guess, from the age of 3.
Well-
You can't do it before, can you?
No. I mean, to diagnose?
Yeah.
Well, the diagnosing is happening at 18 months now. But
Okay.
to actually get services and to be supported, the county has certain criteria that you need to meet.
And then-
that's
right.
challenging for our
And,
And
parents.
then-
3 years old is one of them.
Well, you know, it's either, I believe that the children start pre-K nowadays
Right,
between
and they get
at
to-
4.
yeah.
So, and then the district starts at 3. So it's CPSE that starts at 3. And then your district is now responsible for your children.
Yes.
Are there, I know a lot of parents today are working, obviously, because these are the way things are.
Right.
Are there nursery schools for autistic?
You know, that's a
Children?
good question. I wouldn't have any idea.
I don't think there were.
You know, there are, what they do is they have
blend
early,
in.
they have early childhood development programs.
Right.
And that are center-based for children with autism. So that's typically, that is the way it's happening now. And that's from my families that I support, most of their children are in a program that is for
Yeah, because
development.
from 18 months to 3 years seems like a lot of time to waste.
Yes.
Well, there's nothing that they're missing that you haven't received yet, because they are still in a place where they're being taken care of by their parents, and their parents are raising them. So in terms of the support that you need for a 3-year-old, what is it? What
Well,
is
how
it?
does that help the parents who have to put their children in nursery school? I know people that have had children and come home from the hospital, 6 months maternity leave, and then bam, back to work, and these children are either in private homes being cared for, or I see it all the time. In my town, we have a little web page. I'm looking for someone, a new mother looking for someone to watch my child. True, I'm the mother, and I'll watch my child. I'll come home and I'll do all of that stuff. But I do need somebody to stay with them, and
So we have support. That's a program. And once you receive eligibility from the state of New York, you can apply then for what we call respite care.
Which they come and give you a break, right?
They come and give you a break. And the county will pay for that. The county also provides a $3,000 grant. So for parents that are paying out of pocket for maybe nursery school, or they want to have a safety swim class, they'll be reimbursed for that.
But what gets me is how many people know about all this.
Well, listen, it's supposed to start from the districts, right when you start. And how you get the word out, I'm here trying to explain to everybody.
So that's
Shouldn't it start really, when you think about it, with pediatricians, and
So-
shouldn't there be some sort of movement on
Sure,
that level?
sure. And that's happening. That's
Yeah, they
happening
are
because
pretty
now
good,
they have,
right?
right, they have developmental pediatricians. I didn't have a developmental pediatrician. I had a doctor that was scared to tell me that,
what he needed to tell you.
right. And I thought, well, okay, like, what is that? What is autism?
Now, when the
Yeah.
autistic child grows up, are there programs for them to live in a residence like there is for other types of disability
Sure.
people, or no?
Sure, there is. There's things that called independent residential assistance.
Right. Okay. Mhm.
And again, it's about qualifying.
And you also have to make sure that the manager in that house is doing a good job.
It's not. It wouldn't even be a manager. It would be a residential assistance.
Well, if you're saying that the numbers are rising so
Yeah.
rapidly, the county's giving $3,000 grant. I mean, how
But it's a different programs,
how will
different.
they? But how will they keep up? Who provides the money for the programs?
So the agencies on Long Island, we have a number of agencies that support the different programs throughout Suffolk and Nassau County. So
It's amazing. I mean, there's so
And then
much
you
to
do
be
fundraising,
learned.
I'm assuming.
well, it all depends. Listen, locally, what I do for a living is I'm a service access coordinator for Nassau County, and there's 13 of us that provide this service.
So you're paid by the county or the agency?
The agency,
Okay.
but it's a yes,
It's a position.
it's a position, but it's provided by OPWDD. So
Right.
I kind of work for both.
Which is a huge
I work,
organization.
Right. I work for OPWDD, but I sit
In the
in
agency.
the agency that pays me my paycheck.
Well, it's very interesting because my biggest thing that I'm offended by is how people are not aware of everything, and that's whose fault is it? Is it the county? Is it the town? Is it the agencies? Or is it just there's not enough people as educated as you to be able to help someone that does, have a child with autism at a young age, and they don't know what to do or where to go.
Listen, I think at the during the times that I'm 25 years deep into it now.
Yeah, well,
So there's,
obviously, yeah.
So there was no one.
Right.
Okay, there wasn't anyone to help. Now, 25 years later, there are so many
There are a lot,
resources.
yes.
There's a lot of resources, and and we have now this and the internet and all of this. I didn't have any of that.
Right.
There was no researching anything.
And parents today who are having children are brought up in the age of, oh, I'll Google that,
Right.
Well, it's
so they're,
different
they're
today.
astute at looking for resources.
Correct.
Because
That's very
they
correct.
know how. We used to
Yes.
go to the library and look things up.
Right. That's
That's
very
right. The
true.
library. Remember the encyclopedias?
Who
Yeah.
goes to the library now? Only old people that want to read books that they don't want to pay for. I mean, that's the bottom line.
But
I'm
listen,
there all the time. I guess I fit into the old people that want to read and not
no,
buy the books.
I'm not saying it in a bad way. I'm honest. You know what I
Right.
mean? The
I
kids
hear
and the
ya.
kids don't go to the library to do projects. They do everything from the computer.
well, see now I have a young mom who follows me, and she actually used her voice, and I empowered her to open up a reading session for children on the spectrum, because she has a typical daughter or son, and he would be able to go and listen to Circle Time at the library. But the son has autism, the brother, and he was all over the place.
Yeah.
And it wasn't fair. So she says, I want to have something for our kids on the spectrum. I said, go to the librarian. Because I'm tired, I'm done. I've already done enough. So I said, do this. Go to there.
Right.
Write the letter.
Do the initiative.
That's right. And guess what? She did. God bless her. And she now has a program at the library, Franklin Square, and that has time for kids with special needs.
Which is really nice.
And this is how most things happen in my world, is by the mothers.
Yeah. So the fact that
is-
you're opening this
I believe
business,
that.
I
Right.
mean, I
I've
would
been-
think that you would have to go speak at all these autism organizations.
Yeah.
So when the people are new coming into the organization, they could
It's-
hire you
right.
to coach them,
Right.
and you could give them the advice because it's all up here.
Yes, it is.
And
all
you can't
things.
clone yourself.
No.
But if you want to start this business, you're
Yes.
already there. It's just a matter of the communication and
Right.
getting
I would
some
do
press.
seminars.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Seminars.
That would
is-
be,
Well,
you'd be able
I-
to reach more people at one time.
Speaking at SEPTAs, I like to do SEPTA meetings, but I have it. It's been a long journey for me,
Sure.
and I'm
You're probably tired too.
I am tired.
Yeah.
I'm at the point where my girls are flying. They're independent. I have a place. They have accountability. They're not just existing. They're here. They are.
You should be proud of
Accountable.
yourself. The
Thank you.
job you did.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I
Yeah.
mean, most parents are going through things that are not as difficult as this, and they can't deal with it. Like,
Right.
putting the radio on too loud, or crashing the car,
Yes.
or whatever.
Isn't that when your mother would say to you, you don't know what it is to have real problems?
Yeah, yeah.
Right, right. But nowadays, you know what? The mothers today are stronger. They're smart, and they do have the ability of educating themselves from what they read. But it's not enough, because it's hearsay, right? It's black and white, and they read about it. But until you actually speak to someone who's
Right.
lived it, and then I sit and when I speak to my parents, and they break down, they cry.
Well, because your parents they're not in tune.
Right. They
You know,
want what
they
they
don't get
want.
it. Yeah.
They want what they want, and they don't realize what they want needs to
There
be
must
approached.
be a lot of frustration there.
Yes, it is.
I can
And then
understand it.
somebody who's 5 looking for services doesn't realize in the next 10 years you'll be making more decisions. Right now, these are baby steps. My job is to get you on the path to understand how the program works, and then you fly.
Okay.
So it's like I say, go down the yellow brick road. Most of them don't know what the hell I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
Well, they should,
know
but
what that
yeah.
yellow brick road
Gotta
is.
talk in
Yeah,
circles,
no
but
reference.
really, it's a good way to say it.
It is,
a
because-
funny way, but also honest.
It is very honest, because it's frustrating for some parents. And autism, just because your son or daughter has autism doesn't warrant you to have services, because their spectrum is broad. You can have someone with a very high IQ with autism and speak to us on a daily basis, but there's a side of them that lacks.
So now let's talk about the meds. Okay, so I happen to be a little bit aware because my grandson is in the spectrum, but in the beginning,
I didn't know that.
yeah.
Well, you didn't say that to me.
Well, because I don't
Okay.
really,
Okay.
When my daughter was going through it, I didn't understand it because she was very quiet about it. She didn't open up to me.
Mm-hmm.
And when I would see certain things, I would, not agree with her, what she was doing. But at one point, we even had an argument over it. But again, she was the one that had to deal with it, and she was talking to psychiatrists, and he was told to put on meds. I didn't agree with it. But anyway, he got off the meds, and now he's graduating from college and got a scholarship
Right.
to
Well,
a
see,
beautiful college.
This is what I'm talking about. The children, there's different sides of the spectrum.
But it depends on the mother and how she handles it.
Well, listen, it's all about educating yourself and understanding. I was not a fan of the medication during their young
I
years.
wasn't either, but
You're dealing with somebody who's nonverbal,
yeah.
and then they can't tell you if the medication's making their heart beat fast or they're racy, and they have no language. So what are you supposed to do?
Right.
So I wrote it out until they were 17, and then
Great. Really, you're amazing.
Thank you.
We really
I
have
wrote
to
it
do
out.
something about you.
until they were 17, and then life happens. They're young women. Things happen when you're girls, right?
And it's hard to let go.
Well, the reality is that we have to at some point, right? Regardless of the fact that they're, as long as as parents you do your due diligence to get them to where they need to be. I want my girls to live on their own.
Yes.
But because of their diagnosis, and because they don't meet the criteria to live alone,
Right.
you have to at least be able to live on your own for 20 hours. My kids cannot do that without supervision.
So
They will be with me. They will be with me, and then my house will turn into their home.
So let's talk about the men in this situation, because I've heard from a lot of couples. For some reason, the mother is
The driving force.
the force, and some men just can't handle it.
Well, I
Mother's
guess
I'm not-
usually
and I-
the driving
trust
force
me.
anyway.
I love
Right.
men, so
Within
I'm
the
not
home, it's always
bad
the
mouthing
mother.
men. I'm not, because I love men. I have a great man in my life right now.
I-
But what is it? Why can't they handle it?
and again, we're talking about a different era, because I believe the times have changed. With the new generation that's coming, they're both in. Both parents are on board, at least when we talk about it. But previously, it is hard. It was very hard.
Well,
And it's-
relationships are different now. I mean, my
Exactly.
neighbor's granddaughter just got married. He cooks. I mean,
Right,
it's no
different.
longer that's your job, that's my job.
Correct.
Now
So
we're
there-
in
that-
it. Now let's
I don't
do
know
it.
if that's really a fair statement anymore.
Right.
I mean, it's something to talk about.
Yeah.
Because there are some individuals that can't handle it.
Right.
And whether it be their own thought process, but there is a lot of detail when you have children with special needs, because
Sure.
I'm already 10 steps ahead of you
Ahead of you, right.
before you're even saying something. I'm
So-
like, no, I already did that.
So
No, I already
what could
did
we
that.
do to help you with your new business? Obviously, you're just starting out. You're
Right.
branding.
I'm branding.
You're going to have a website. What is do you have a Facebook page?
I don't have anything yet, Valentina.
Okay. But you're going to get there.
I'm gonna get there. I am getting there because I feel validated. I am in the middle of my coaching course,
Which
and-
is fabulous.
Yes, and do have and because of my life experience, I'm breezing through it. But I'm learning a lot in terms of coaching, and understanding that there's two sides, and we're dealing with a lot of emotions.
Yes.
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 The emotional piece alone is a lot to deal with when you're with anyone with a special disability.
Yes. Well, I worked at Abilities. I'm sure you've heard of
Oh,
it.
that's where my girls went at the end.
I might have known them. I was there for 2 years. But the kids loved me,
Right.
and the old ladies didn't, that were the teachers. And guess what? They didn't like my line.
Well, listen.
So guess what happened?
Oh.
Because when you're younger, the old ladies don't want you there. When you're older, the young ladies don't want you there. So no matter which way you go,
Yes.
But I
yes.
did enjoy working
understand.
there, and I learned a lot.
Yes.
And I used to get them to learn how to interview.
Oh, that's fabulous. Listen, they have abilities. Because they have a disability doesn't mean they cannot learn. My girls, my Alexa is an artist.
Oh, how beautiful is that?
She's an artist.
Well, you
and
have a lot to be,
We've had
accomplished.
2 shows in Roslyn. We had a gallery, and that was when she was, how old was she, Casey? 16, 17? Yeah. So
That's great, really amazing.
yes, and then my other daughter, she enjoys. I'm from California, all right. So she's my granola crunching yoga girl. And I have my Alexa, who's the strong New York. I'm gonna attack you if you come in my
Now,
space.
are you from Israel?
I'm not. No.
Oh,
I'm Italian.
you're Italian.
I'm Italian
Why did I
Filipino.
think? Okay, I thought you. I don't know
No.
why. I thought you were from the
No.
name, maybe the Inga. You know, I don't know. It's a catchy name.
It's
You gotta,
hot.
you gotta keep that name.
Yeah, am I gonna keep that name?
You should,
Well, that's my Facebook
because
page.
you should. I think you should.
Sure.
Just add a little like tune next to it, like Inga, the whatever you want to.
There's an idea, right?
Yeah, because that's the catchy phrase. Is one of people are going to remember that.
Right.
The advocator.
Yeah,
Advocator.
and
You know,
maybe
it's-
something about autism needs to be in the catchy phrase,
Right.
because then that's really your bonus.
Yes, that is my bonus.
And then that's when you market it. Once you get that name,
We're gonna talk later.
and well, this is what I do for people.
This is what we're gonna do, Valentina.
Yeah. But
my-
you're amazing, really.
Thank
Really
yes, thank you.
Kudos, really, to you.
unbelievable.
It's
Yeah.
extremely
It went
impressive.
fast. It went
And,
very
and you're
fast.
single.
And I am single. There's
Wow,
reasons why
and
I'm
you're
single.
so pretty.
Well, thank
Really?
you.
So we have things we do at night. We go out. We connect people. You should join and
okay.
come with us once in a while.
Why not?
No, we have some fun. We have performers.
Okay.
We always tonight. Actually, our guys are singing all over. But do we have a nice picture of Inga up there? I'd like to show Bobby. I think we do. That's the only thing I could show up there. That your beautiful
Oh,
picture.
that's a beautiful picture.
Really.
Thank you.
Wow, that's a gorgeous
Very, very
picture.
nice
Thank
picture
you.
of you. And soon, when you come back, we'll have some other stuff we could float around for you.
We can do that.
But there is the car
yes.
organization.
Oh yes.
And I lived in West Hempstead for 26 years, and I didn't even know that the guy from the Sandy's
Yes.
Party Supply had the car show.
He's had it for 20 years. It was grandfathered to him from one of the boys in the neighborhood. He actually started it for his son.
And I know his mom.
Oh,
Before she passed.
yes.
But we bought all the party stuff for the
He's
for
a good
the
guy.
Breakfast Club there.
John's a
always.
good guy. He gives back to Franklin Square. He's good. He's good egg.
Yeah, I really liked
100%.
him a lot.
Yeah.
And look, there's the logo, the Dogwood Boys.
Yeah.
It's an interesting, but again, that
Dogwood,
has something.
Yes.
That's what you have to do
Yes.
for yourself.
Oh.
It's got to be that thing, that somebody that's going to remind you of everything that you stand for.
Huh.
So you're there. You just
yeah,
have to
I just need to pull it
a
together.
little bit more. That's really it. But I
Yeah.
also want to talk. We're going to talk more about our new enterprise person who is going to be our sponsor. You know her, and she is from the Dockside Anchor Down Restaurant. She is on the water, and she's sponsoring today's show. And she's having a grand opening on Sunday, and everybody wants to go. Just call her up. It's a great place to go for fish, the water. You sit
It's right on a canal. You see the boats go by.
Yes, and yeah,
It's in Seaford.
yes. And my birthday was there 4 years ago, and I think we have a picture, don't we, Bobby, of something from the restaurant? I think we do.
What-
It's something with fish.
What was her name?
Her name is RJ.
RJ. It's Anchor Down in Seaford.
Yes, and we have something with fish or something there. I don't know. There it is. Where somewhere.
But it's a very nice place. The food, it's not too big, so it's nice to have reservations. You could eat inside or outside. You can be direct sun. It's reservations are suggested because it's very popular. It's
Yes.
open. It's open, I think, for lunch too, isn't
Yes,
it?
and they have parties, private parties. You could have a table of 20 where your window is overlooking the water. That's what they did for my birthday. And
Nice.
we had a ball. And then we have performers that we could also get for people when they have a party, grand opening, and we do all that kinds of stuff. So thank you, RJ, and we'll be talking a lot about Dockside, Anchor Down. And we also have our performers. We have Eddie Sessa singing. Tonight he is singing. It is Thursday.
Thursday, Trattoria.
There it is. There he is. Old School Wednesdays. He sings on Wednesday, yesterday, at Trattoria.
No, Wednesdays he sings at Manja e Bev.
And then there's a restaurant called Manja Bevi around the corner. Eddie sings there.
On Wednesdays.
On-
and
on-
Thursdays, he's in the city at Trattoria.
And on Fridays,
Fridays,
he's
he's
at the Polo Lounge.
Polo Lounge.
Nice.
So we all, not every night, go
Yeah.
out, but we go after the show. He's a Sinatra singer, and he's
Oh.
wonderful.
And the Polo Lounge, the atmosphere there is
Oh, great.
amazing.
Then we have this new play that's coming up in my hometown of Floral Park. It's called Four Weddings and an Elvis. It's at the Floral Park Theater Box. And one of the people that are in the Fontanas with me, which I told you about, this is another thing I'm going to be involved in, is going to be in it. If anybody wants to go, you call the Floral Park
And
Theater.
when is it? What date is that?
It's in the next 2 weeks.
Okay.
You have plenty of time, and it'll be very good. 4 weddings and an Elvis. And that will be fun. So we go with groups. We tell them we're going. You want to go? Mention the Breakfast Club. They treat you a little nicer.
Nice.
Then we have Bob D'Amato, who's singing also coming up at Monroe's. You could talk about Monroe's.
Monroe's is
Go out a lot.
Yeah, I see that.
It was people that were at the other restaurant. I forget the name of it, but they moved over here and they took over Monroe's, and it's very cute because when you walk in there, they have like the Walk of Fame of Marilyn Monroe and a big Marilyn Monroe. And the joke is that they were trying to find a name. It's the old Benny's in
Westbury.
Westbury,
Right.
right
Mhm.
on Post Avenue. And the joke is that they were trying to think of a name, and they saw someone had thrown this out, this big statue, and they picked it up,
And they fixed
and
it
they
up.
plopped
And
it in the restaurant.
Marilyn Monroe is everywhere in the restaurant.
Yep.
And it's run by Haas, who is the owner, who is a darling.
Yep.
And they have a lot of 50 singers there. And also the other restaurant that you go to, Bob is at.
Oh, La Focaccia.
La
That's a
Focaccia.
great. That's another place in Levittown. It's the food is fabulous, all of it. But if you're a lasagna freak like I am, it's the best lasagna I have ever had on Long Island.
So this is always on my Facebook, all these things to do. And if you go, you're going to wind up seeing somebody from the Breakfast Club. And then we have this wonderful woman who was on last week. She's having a Mother's Day show out on Long Island at the CM Performing Center. And she sings Olivia Newton-John, and she will be singing Mother's Day at 6:30. It's a great thing to do for your mom. There's a restaurant next door to the theater, and she's taking orders, and you tell her that you saw it on the show. So these are all people that somehow came on the show already and became our friends. And so what we do is we all help each other, and that's what the Breakfast Club started with many years ago, and it's
It was
still
pay
that
it,
now.
Pay it forward,
Right.
and positive vibes only.
Yes.
And the last thing that I always like to talk about is my book, because here it is. This is my book, From Fire to Freedom.
Yes.
Stephanie's in it. Many other people are in it, mostly women, except for Chris Fidus, who actually our doctor knows very well. And the titles are really unbelievable. One is I Really Miss New York, and this was about a woman who, lost her job and had to leave. But what she's doing now. And then there's Sniffing, Sipping, and Swirling with the Experts.
Oh.
That's about a woman, I won't say it was me, but it was, who started doing wine tasting and learned all about wine and learned
How
it
fun.
in 2 weeks. And we had a ball. It was in Huntington. And you meet all these great people, and you really don't know much about wine. But guess what? If you learn what they tell you to say, people believe you. And you say to the person,
It's a good salesman.
what do you smell when you drink the wine? What do you taste? And they'll say, branches. And you go, you're right. And that's how they taught us.
And
Not
the
that-
next person will say oak, and you'll say, you're right.
Yeah. So
You're right. You're
now,
right.
now I'm not saying that I was a connoisseur.
You get a bottle.
But
you get
I
a bottle.
learned. And it turned out that this wine tasting turned into like a Tupperware party. And you would get orders.
It did.
And then you'd pick up your wine, and then my trunk was always full of wine. So, if a cop stopped you and you had a trunk full of wine, it's like, I sell the wine, But anyway, this is a great book. It's very funny, and it's dedicated to Joanne, who was
a
our
dear
buddy,
friend.
who lost her job, and we all met at the same time.
I like that.
So, there's a lot of things. When you write a book, you should write a book.
I know you
Your
keep saying that to me.
expertise becomes
You
your
actually
business.
could go a step by step.
Yes. And you need a book? Tell us, we have publishers.
I think that would be a great idea, even if it was just a handbook.
Yes, you should. And I can help you with that, because here's our publishers.
People would be interested
Red
in
Penguin
that.
Books, Stephanie Larkin. She's the head penguin.
Wow.
People in that book now wrote their own book. They
Really?
started with us, and now they wrote their own book. Stephanie's still working on
And
it.
if you make it like a handbook, people can write in it also.
And do you know you could sell them to all these autism organizations to give to all the parents?
Fascinating.
So these are all the kinds
Get
of
a
things.
local community grant from your bank
Yeah, you
to
could
put the
get
name on the back of the
grants.
book.
Yeah.
Huh.
You got to become a 501 to get the grant. Very simple.
Well, we're
You
going to
need
talk more.
$450 and you need a lawyer.
Yeah, now and then you just get the local bank or a restaurant to put their name on the back of it, cover the cost of the printing.
Well, I
Makes
was
them
a
look good.
501.
Well,
Unfortunately, when my boss went to jail, I had to rip it up. Because I didn't set the papers up, he did.
Oh my God.
So, you
Well.
learn so much, you know what I mean? Because you already are very smart.
Thank you.
But when you do certain things, you need to seek out the right people.
Right.
So, for
that's
example,
where I'm
this
at.
book, see this book? This little one?
Yes. Oh, you want that?
This book, this tiny little book, cost me as much as this big book, okay? Why? Because I was young and dumb, okay? But what I learned from this book, the mistakes I made with this one, but I still love it. This is my coffee table book. True story about this little girl, me and my best friend. So in life, when you're starting out, you have it all up here already.
Yes.
You just need to, what's the word, orchestrate
you
it?
need a way to communicate to other people in a way that they can follow, and you just put the things. And I like the idea of the workbook, where if you say this is step one,
I mean, you
then they can
talk
write
it-
down how
yeah.
far they've gotten.
And you talk it like, you're reciting your ABCs. So the book is no big deal for you. You stay up 3 nights till midnight,
I think it would be very helpful.
and then you call Stephanie Larkin.
To be
Boom.
honest, I think that would be very
And
helpful.
that will be your entree, your book launch. Invite everyone
my
from the
God.
autism world.
Is show the paving stones of the yellow brick road.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
That's where the workbook is. So you have all the stuff for the future.
Exactly.
But you have to lead
Perfect.
them step by step.
Great idea.
So
And
when
show
people
the support.
exactly. So when people say to me, "What do you guys do with the breakfast?" Go, this is one little thing of what we do.
Yeah.
This is what we
spin
do.
ideas. We help each other. We boost each other up.
So
I'm
on
so
that note,
glad that you invited me.
you're going to be back.
Okay.
How do people reach you? Because we're running around out of time soon.
On my email.
So what is it?
Oh, it's inga@osaspecialneedsconsulting.com.
And Facebook, Inga.
Inga, Inga.
And she's keeping that name.
Oh my God.
This is a little gift for you. Everybody gets a little something. It's a
Thank
little
you.
candy
Thank
and a
you.
special homemade jar.
I like that.
And this is all for you. This
Thank
is our.
you.
We want you to tell everyone about us.
Okay.
And it's that time. So I want to thank all
Wow,
our
that was
guests.
fast.
Pleasure working
It
with
did go
all of you
fast.
today. Thank you
It
for
was very
coming.
informative.
Susan, the table looks gorgeous for the summer.
Always.
And it's going to be a wrap. So the last thing we do is we throw the ball. I'm going to let you throw it because
Oh, I wanted
soon
to.
we're going to say thanks to all our fans for watching. Of course, we want you to watch, like, and share because I'm still in Facebook jail. So everybody that sees this tonight, watch, like, and share. And Bobby Lacera, who is the owner of this gorgeous studio, he's here to help everybody. You need him, you call me. You need a video, you need Bobby Lacera for your own video.
Okay.
You'll have this, yes, but you won't get a better video than what you can get here. And look at this place.
I know. I love it.
This is the best kept secret on Long Island. It really, really is.
I enjoy it.
Yeah,
Very
and I'm
good.
so glad. And you're a very beautiful woman.
Thank
really.
you so much.
I mean, let's give this girl a round of applause. Really. What a great lady.
Thank you. Thank you.
So now it's time to throw the ball.
Where do I throw it? Just throw it?
Throw it at Bill. There you go, Mr. Quiet over there. Doctor.
Good catch.
Dr. Kelberman, it's so good to see you. Thanks for
Good to
showing
see you.
up.
Wonderful.
Susan, and the friend here, thank you. It was really a great show.
Yes.
Are you excited?
I'm excited. I am excited. I met a lot new friends.
And
you
you
know,
know
good
what?
ideas.
Yes, a lot of great
Anybody
ideas.
want cookies? We always have food. You want
No,
a cookie?
thank you.
No?
No,
Okay.
I'm gonna need a drink.
Yeah.
Gave
Yeah.
you a lot of great. Casey, were you
That's where
listening?
we're going.
Are we off?
That's a wrap, guys.
That's a wrap.
That's a wrap.